back exposure. But other times they'll continue to fight you here and try to turn back in. It's going to give you opportunities to gain underhooks and improve your position. So what we're looking to do is whenever we pass, we want to take our partner's knees and turn them away from us. The more your partner's knees are facing you, the easier it will be for them to recover. So your job is to take the knees and run them away. Okay, so that's the lower body. What else do we need for a good pin? We have to have some measure of control of our partner's shoulders. That can take a number of forms, but it's usually going to involve head control and an underhook. Okay, so if we ever land, for instance, there'll be times where we're working floating passes. We pummel, and as we pass here, there's going to be a moment, just rotate here, where I have no head or arm control. If your partner is not, if their back is not put down to the floor, they will almost always try to get up. They'll turn onto their side, they'll wrestle up, or they'll try to join knee and elbow. So for this reason, whenever we pass, in addition to turning our partner's knees away, we're looking to gain an underhook. When you gain your underhook, you can do it with your head driving your partner's shoulder flat and then putting that hand there in place. Okay? You can move from there into a crossface and an underhook where you're looking to keep your partner's jaw turned away. There will be opportunities for you to take sometimes reverse underhooks where you're blocking your partner's arm and sitting out way up high. The idea is, though, that once we pass, we need to be thinking about where our partner's knees are facing. They should be facing away. And then whether we have an underhook or two, we need to have at least one. So off of a pass where we knee cut through, the first thing we should be looking to do is get an underhook. When Chris goes to take his knees towards me, I'm looking to run his hips down, clear the top leg, and then we're ready to go. If we're passing using a variation of a tripod pass here, I have one underhook already. I can elect to take two, or head control and cross face on one side and the underhook on the other. But when it comes time to pinning your partner and finishing the pass, set as a goal an underhook, at least one, a cross face if possible, and then the skill and the habit of running your partner's knees down and away from you whenever possible. If you can do that, turn their knees away, gain an underhook, and start to control their head, you're going to have a much higher likelihood of keeping your partner in the pin or forcing a bad position than you will if you're not paying attention to these things. We don't want to have a game where we're passing the guard, and every time we do, our partner simply recovers by bringing their elbow and knee together or throwing their leg up over the top. So the pass is critical, but what happens afterwards is also essential. So keep it in mind, and we're going to move on to looking at some techniques for how you can pass your partner's guard. So how can you best use this video? It's possible to start at the beginning and go all the way through. Being immersed in a topic is an excellent way of cutting out distractions and spending time so that you can get some depth on whatever the subject is. So in this case, that's great. You're more than welcome to do that. We include in these videos an executive summary, a summary of the techniques in a shortened format so that you can use those as reference. Okay, they can be used as reference so that you can jump to those, take a look at them, and then go more into depth in the material that's in the rest of the video. Or you can use it as a reminder. People have found it helpful all sorts of ways. Sometimes people find it helpful as a kind of a Cliff's Notes, like a review before stepping onto the mat. Sometimes you watch the entire video, but you don't need to go back and watch the whole thing. You just need a quick reminder. So that's why that's there. Okay, it's specifically there so that you can jump around, you can pick and choose. And then very much like an encyclopedia, you don't need to read from A to Z. Okay, when you have a question or something that you need to look up, you can do that. And instead of going into the more in-depth version, okay, which is going to be in the technical portion that's next, you have a shortened summary that you can go to. It's a minute and a half long as a review. Guard passing, as I've said, is really built around your skill at chaining multiple passes together. It's not like submissions where, if you have a great arm lock and you can enter the arm lock, if you get there, you have a pretty high success rate of finishing if you're really good at it. For guard passing, it's going to benefit you to have a sense of how to do each of these techniques individually, but then also how to chain them together. So for that reason, my recommendation is that you take one broad topic, like one of the positional passes out of this video series, and you spend a little bit of time on it so that you can work it in isolation. Then once you do that, you can put it in context with some positional training at low intensity. If you can do that, you'll start to get a sense of where your errors are, where your mistakes are, and how to fix those. You're not going to be able to fix everything, but that's fine. You're going to fix the majority of things, and you can make adjustments and updates as you go. Then you do that with one other segment. So you have two segments. Maybe you have, again, tripod passing and floating passing. And these two things are ones that you've done a little bit of a vertical dive into. Once you have some level of comfort, then you're going to do positional training with a partner where you're focusing only on these two areas, okay? But not in isolation, rather, how they react, how they interact with one another. So what ends up happening is you have a synergy of each of these two pieces joining together, and you're going to be able to have a better sense of where things are supposed to fit. The big issue, again, with how people learn is if you learn with no context, you don't know really what comes before, you don't really know what comes after, you're always going to feel like you're a day late and a dollar short. The goal is to have a contextual understanding. So when you're practicing the techniques on this video, we don't want you to just drill them in isolation, but rather drill them in such a way where you can begin to connect them. And if you can't connect them yet, because you're still learning, you can at least see where the opportunities are for those changes to come. All right. And if you can train yourself to do that, then this video or any other video that you watch is going to be of more value to you. Your skills will increase, and you'll feel more competent and more confident in